So this is essentially a throwback project from February of 2025. This is our middle cabin, as we call it, our second cabin. We have our first cabin where my husband and I with the baby sleep, the third cabin where my other two kids sleep, and then this is the middle cabin, obviously shared by everyone. This is almost bare bones. This is where we were converting it from essentially storage area to turning it into the kitchen and bathroom that it is today. So clearly that meant we had to take absolutely everything because it didn't, everybody has a spillover space in their house. And in the beginning, this was ours because we obviously finished the bedroom cabins first because that's where everybody was sleeping and needed to be comfortable in their space. Plus, we had to get ready for the baby at the time. So this just became the catch-all area, and we finally got to a point where we wanted to be more intentional about this space because it was becoming overwhelming with clutter. And you can see the amount of things that are being brought out. You realize when you live in a tiny home living space, which is essentially what we live in now, you only have things that are the most functional, things that are multi-use. As you can see, our makeshift kitchen tables were picnic tables in the beginning. This room was just one big open space, so it was very easy to just put whatever, you had just the plywood, no wall, so it just felt dirty and messy, kind of like a garage essentially. So it's very easy to just put things wherever you put things and worry about it later. And you don't realize how cluttered and overwhelming and how much you accumulate unnecessary things until you start to force yourself to regulate those behaviors. And my favorite thing about moving from one place to another, like literally, you can see all of the unnecessary. It's amazing actually how much fit inside that cabin. It actually surprised me. And it's in a situation like this, like a spring cleaning kind of approach, but also moving from one place to another. We moved from Texas to Kentucky. And so you find out what really matters. If you come across things that you haven't touched in 6 months and you have no idea that you even had it, then why do you still have it? You don't need it. As you can see, I had to wipe all the dust off of these things that we did care more about, because the more items you have, the more dust it accumulates. So this is bare bones, insulation only, haven't even put drywall up quite yet. And it just feels like a whole new space once we were intentional about it. So yes, my husband did 100% of this with the assistance of our teenage daughter, where he put up a divider wall there, as you can see part of it. We now have a regular oven, we have a regular refrigerator, and we have nice flooring, as you can see. So he essentially turned it into, from one big area, one big open space, to now it's a separate kitchen and / bathroom, where previously the bathroom was just our composting toilet was just in the corner of the room. Now it has a door, so you don't have to worry about someone coming into the cabin, and you're just out there in the open doing your business, whatever that may be. We no longer have to worry about that. The other thing that I love about the fact that we have built everything purely from scratch is what my kids are learning. Mostly my oldest. She is now 19, or almost 19, and she is learning very valuable life lessons and how to build basic structures and confidence. She doesn't know everything, of course, and she's still working on, she basically doesn't have the fear now of having to rely on purchasing a house or an apartment or what have you. She has the desire in life to do what we're doing here on this property once she goes off and does whatever she does, you know, whenever the time is right for her. So this is not only helping us transform into the lifestyle we want, but it's showing her that she can live her life however she wants. And yes, I temporarily had to have my kitchen outdoors, which was nice. I'm never upset about. You're basically camping. That camp stove right there was a lifesaver for, I don't honestly remember how long we used that sucker. It was just a simple 2-burner, literally when you're camping, camp stove. And we cooked absolutely everything on it before we had an oven. And so I have really had to practice. This is what, you know, a little quesadilla mix, as we like to call it, kind of like a Southwest approach. So quite a delicious recipe there, and it's a good go-to. You can make a lot of it. You can make it very quickly, very easily, not that many ingredients. This was even back before we started using dried goods like dried beans and such, so everything was out of a can, but you know, it's all been a process. And you really truly learn what you're capable of whenever you are in a position where you have to adapt quickly and modify your behaviors. I finally got to move back into the kitchen that same evening. As you can see, those were our temporary Christmas lights. Do what you got to do as you go. And this is now the current state of our kitchen / bathroom middle cabin. We are still not 100% done with it, but as you can see, everything is as where it should be. Yes, we do still rely on those Christmas lights because solar panels, you do what you got to do.